Welcome back to Actualidad Motor. This week we bring you a tutorial related to cleaning. Let's talk about how to clean the engine, leaving it perfect for very little money. So let's get down to business. The engine is composed of parts made from different materials such as plastic, metal, rubber, etc. In addition, it's full of cables and other electrical components which should be kept dry at all times. For that reason, although many videos recommend it, we advise against using a pressure washer to clean the whole engine indiscriminately. Even if you cover some parts with plastic bags, there will always be sensors and cables which are out of sight or inaccessible. Therefore, it is likely that you will create a short circuit that will cause problems with the electrical system. Instead, it's better to invest 15 minutes in doing it right and without causing any damage. It seems like a short time, but if you know which cleaning products don't conduct electricity, you can clean most areas without too many precautions. Further on, we will tell you which products, but first, let's start with the essentials when cleaning the engine. Step number 1. Dust as much as you can. For this, you can use a brush or some rags, although the best thing you can do is to use a vacuum. Don't forget to remove anything that has been stuck in the holes, such as leaves on the sides or insects. Step number 2. Clean each area with the appropriate liquid. For example, a multipurpose cleaner for plastics, a grease remover for difficult areas, or other everyday products. Unfortunately, there will always be electrical components which must not come in touch with any conducting liquid. Therefore, we have tested the conductivity of all products that are usually used for this task. Of course, normal water is very conductive of electricity, but this is not the case if the water is distilled because it's an insulator. Later, we will see if it gets this property when mixed with dissolved dirt. If you can't find distilled water in your supermarket, you may be able to find demineralized water. We have also tested it, and likewise it does not conduct electricity. Now, we move on to cleaning products. The multipurpose cleaner also does not conduct electricity. We have tried some of the most common brands, and none of them has turned the light bulb on. Finally, we tested the grease remover. As you can see, the bulb has not turned on. Although, we have seen the cable bubble, something that is unadvisable for what we are doing. Now that we know what we can use without fear, we can get straight to work without useless precautions. The only exception is the battery, which should not handle lightly. Never touch both poles of the battery or the positive onto any metal part of the car at the same time. You can use the multipurpose cleaner as much as you like. In addition to not conducting electricity well, it's not abrasive, so cables and plastic will not suffer. Using a microfiber cloth is a good option, although if it's in the shape of a mitten with bristles, so much better, because you will reach the nooks and crannies easier. Distilled or demineralized water is also perfect for this, and you can use it on its own or to rinse the multipurpose spray and give it another cleaning. You can use a steamer if you have one, or a bucket and a microfiber cloth as before. Watch out, it is one thing to wet everything inside and another thing to flood the engine well. It would not be a good idea, for example, in the upper area of the engine, especially if it's a petrol engine and the water has a hole to pass through. The spark plugs must conduct electricity well, and if they are not completely watertight, some distilled water might get in them. That problem is unlikely with diesel engines. With a steamer, you will reach the most difficult places, although with an old toothbrush the same result can be achieved in some parts, for example in the grooves of this cap. Another advantage of the steamer is that it's used to clean fabric such as this, but again a good result is also achieved with a brush and some elbow grease. If you use a microfiber cloth for distilled water, it's best to wring the cloth out of the bucket when it's very dirty, so that no dirt will accumulate in the water. Note: distilled water is an insulator, but it can recover its conductivity as impurities are dissolved in it. We have tested it with typical engine dirt and there has been no problem. However, as is well known, salt does easily increase its conductivity. It only took a level teaspoon of salt to make the half glass of water we used start conducting electricity. Therefore, people who live by the seaside and leave their car outside may have to be careful with this method because of the saline particles of marine atmospheres. Step 3. Now it's time to tackle the talk spots. Engines often have that does not come out with water or multi-purpose cleaner, for example oil, rust or heavy dirt. For oil, we logically use the grease remover, but since it does conduct electricity and is abrasive, spray on the rag so that it does not end up where it's not suitable, such as cables or plastics. It is also useful with the heavy dirt, but if you apply it on the enamel or paintwork of the car, do so briefly and remove the remains with a wet cloth. Also, use it only on the inside bodywork, not on the outside of the car. To remove rust stains or similar, the best you can use is the typical 3-in-1 WD-40 or similar. You can find them very cheap. If you pour it on the stain, wait half a minute and rub a little with a scouring pad. The rust will come out without a trace. Forget about the typical metal cleaners because as you can see they are not as effective for this. The engine is almost perfect, but there is still a last touch to make it look like new. Step 4. Brightening the plastics. You can use a specific product or again the WD-40 type lubricant we used for the rust. We have done the test and the results are practically the same. Take advantage to brighten other plastic parts you have at hand because you will leave your car looking well cared for or even new. This is the final result. As you can see, the engine has practically recovered the look it had when it was bought. We recommend that you do so if you want to sell your car on the second-hand market or simply to keep it clean and tidy. We hope you found this video useful. If so, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time!